transition. Whoa. Look at this good-looking woman. Look at this good-looking slide 1. This is basically as good as it's going to get ever. The ultimate sparkle. The sporkle. The upcoming box with, you guessed it, woman. We have sparkle. Yeah, I know. I'm really clever. I'm really funny. Honkai Star Rail reference. Oh, he's done it again. Yes. That's me in the bottom left if you even care. All right. So this was Turbo Rush like always. As you will notice by the really bad corny jokes and also lack of expanded detail, not only under every archetype, but under the rundown. So what do we expect and what do we know? We know we're getting Onion XYZ, we're getting the Tachyon Dragon, we're getting Blue Eyes Bat Chest, and then I would have tried to see if there is any more information for anything realistic that we're getting, but I ran out of time. So that's all we get pretty much. Let's go for the XYZ Union first, because it's probably the one that the least amount of people care about, I imagine. It doesn't really have pretty much any success in the OCG, as far as I could tell. And I think it's not out in the TCG yet, so, you know, it's probably gonna flop there as well. But that's just life. Stop people from Union? What do you mean? I'm just saying they don't want to do it. Okay, that's not my fault. But this is basically more Union extenders and starters, and you're still gonna be just getting a bunch of bodies on the board and then getting some removal, etc. Nothing necessarily too new for the game plan, IMO. But I guess you are more likely to be able to tuck in some floodgatey things. Wahoo, very cool. We have Jarhead. I don't know. I think it's like Yearhead or something. There's an artifact for another URL on top of the image. Don't worry about it. There wasn't a TCG image. The small guys are not really that interesting, but let's just go over them real quick. This guy on special summon equips a light machine from hand or graveyard to him as if it was unioned. And then all of them also have the light extra deck lock, which means after they use their effect on the field, they lock you into light monsters only, which obviously immediately tells you, wow, this archetype sure seems to be really good. I mean, luckily that means you can tech Fiendsmith stuff in as well for what it's worth, but yeah. And then they also have the two Union monsters have the Union stuff, which is they can equip or unequip themselves or a card. And then if they're equipped as a Union, they can protect the other card from destruction by destroying themselves. This guy is not a Union. He's the Triple X Cross Cannon. He tends to be played at 3 because he's kind of decent. He's also a free summon from the hand if you control a Light Fusion or a Union. And also, during main phase 1, you can equip a Light Machine Union monster from your deck to him. And then you get Light Extra locked. So obviously, he just grabs stuff. He's kind of epic. He's level 4, and you don't even have to normal summon him. Very cool. And then we have Zillion from League of Legends. Again, as you can see, these don't have like English prints by default in the top results. I didn't really go searching that far. This guy on special summon equips a banished level 4 light machine to him as if it was equipped by its own effect. Yada yada, Union stuff, you know. And you get extra deck light locked for the rest of the turn. And he has the Union stuff because he's a Union monster, so he can equip a card or be equipped to a card, and then if he's equipped, he protects it from destruction by battle or card effect at the cost of his own life again. We have this guy, who I haven't really seen use for, but I guess a quick note, since there weren't a lot of lists, technically, you know, the ratios are very questionable. He doesn't seem unusable, but you can make your own judgments, I suppose. He has the Union stuff, which means, you know, equip, unequip, and protect. And you can bounce him when he's equipped to a monster, and then you can equip a banished Union monster instead, as if it was equipped by its own effect. So, you know, you can then de-Union it, summon it onto the field or whatever. Technically, this card's not complete dog water, but I feel like the fact that it requires you to have set up in the banish pile already implies that it's not really great, so I wouldn't expect it to see any use. But hey, United Airlines jokes, let's go. We have the Union Slacktivism. This card might be an ultra rare, to be honest, because it's kind of not complete garbage. You can send a Light Machine, Normal, or Union from your hand or deck to the graveyard, and if you do, add one Light Machine monster with the same attack with different original name from the deck to the hand. And if you special summon 3 Light Machines at the same time while this card is in the graveyard, you can banish the card and add one monster with 3,000 or more attack from the deck to your hand, and then normal summon it on resolution. The second effect I don't think is going to be that relevant, but I don't know, you can... you know, summon Obelisk that way. That's pretty cool, right? Pretty epic when you think about it. I actually don't remember if there were any like really good targets for this. I think we like went over them when the card was first released, but it's been so long. I don't think people really use it for that effect. But it is technically funny because obviously when you tag out the fusions on your opponent's turn, you can proc this, so you can summon something. The normal monster most of the time is probably gonna be the normal guy, the X-Head Cannon, because I don't think there were other attacks that overlap for searches, if I remember correctly. So it's a little bit awkward because it involves running a Garnet, but hey, it's also a searcher, so it's kind of crazy for that. We have A to Z energy load. This card's so good that I didn't even bother coming up with a bad joke title for it. When opponent activates a card or effect, draw cards equal to the level 8 plus machine fusions you control. This is crazy. During your standby, you can banish this card from graveyard, shuffle up to 6 banished light machines into the deck, including a Union monster. Do you do something afterwards? Apparently not. Very cool. Love to see it. And each effect is hard once per turn. So, you know, in case you wanted to stack the draws or something. Hypothetically, I guess you could maybe try to cheese out like a draw 3 or 4 effect off of this. But it seems like it would be so much effort, and then you would have to get this card as well. It's like, okay, whatever, bro. Like, who cares? We have the Xbox Union controller. This guy's epic because he has enemy controller on the artwork, which means it's the greatest card ever to be printed in 2025 in Master Duel, I guess, which means it's not printed, but shh. It requires a Light Machine monster and either the new Y or Z, so the Union guys, and must be summoned by banishing the above cards you control. And if summoned from the extra, you can add one spell trap from the deck that mentions Union monsters in its text. This is a hard once per turn effect. And once per turn, during your main phase, you can special summon one Light Machine normal or Union monster from your hand. Which means, you know, you summon out 2 guys and you send those and you proc their effects and you get a search off of this. And then you probably search off of would it be Buster Drake or whatever, the green guy. I'll be honest, I don't really remember them by their letterings. I remember them by their effects. And then you can summon whatever you search off of that. So, you know, this card is pretty epic. Speaking of pretty epic, we have the XYZ guy who's basically ABC but worse, but like not really, but sort of. Not really because he technically has the extender effects, which obviously are really epic, but on the field, he's ABC, but worse. To summon him, you banish the new XYZ from the field and or graveyard. Which, you know, basically ABC summon requirement. And once per opponent's turn, and then like Unlike the ABC Dragon, not either turn, you can discard a card, target an opponent's card, or card they control rather, and then destroy it instead of banishing it. Very cool. I love to discard a card to pop a card. Very cool. Obviously, the second effect kind of matters a lot, which is you can banish this from the field or graveyard. Reveal 1 level 8 light machine fusion in the extra special summon up to 3 materials whose names are mentioned on the monster from your graveyard under banishment. But you have to already have stuff in your graveyard under banishment. But like technically, I mean, it's a bunch of free bodies, so very cool. I keep forgetting that it's not just from the deck. If it was from the deck, this card would be busted, but it's not. Dump it to the grave for the effect. I mean, yes and no. It's not bad. You can still do stuff with it, you know? This card's for cost, I'm pretty sure. I didn't format the effects that strictly on this one. So what does this deck do? Yes, that was all the support. Maybe I forgot a card. I don't think so though. You still spam a bunch of bodies, most likely to link summon, and then you have some target removal. You can get some negates. You can get the Classico Regulus. You can get Infinity. You can get freaking Griffin. You can search for a Floodgate beforehand by dumping it to the graveyard to recycle with Griffin. I mean, it's not like bad, but it doesn't seem to be all that innovative in terms of what it does for the deck overall. Yeah, that was like, Griffin was, it's not that it's necessarily included, but it's a light monster, and also that's like what most people seem, well, what the couple people that did have played this seem to have been doing. So here's some examples for the lists. We have this with Fiendsmith. Thanks for the follow. Welcome, welcome. We have this with Fiendsmith. It is very pixelated. I don't know. I think I grabbed this from like a random YouTube video, which is why it looks so scuffed visually, but it is what it is. And we also have this one with terraforming, which of course is illegal. As you can see, there is anti-smell fragrance in here as well. Bad chest. I love to flip anti-smell. Very cool. Very epic. And then we have the last one, which is... Oh yeah, another trend is apparently it's pretty common to mix it at least to some degree with Constellars. So, you know, that sounds really not toxic at all. I mean, to be fair, I guess it could be the rank up tag out into infinity or whatever, but yeah. The fact that there's not room for more ABCs is also quite concerning, to be honest, because so far it's always been like, I want to run more ABC, at least 2. But hey. Can you play White Forest? I mean, you could. I don't really see how you would benefit from both the lock and also a lot of the lackluster, you know, gains from the ABC XYZ cards, but I mean, you do you, right? And that's literally it. As I mentioned, there's no combos this time around being presented here, because I made this in a very short amount of time. We have Tachyon, which is anime rank 8 spam. Wahoo! Never heard about that before. If you played Duel Links during the Tachyon meta, close your eyes. We have Cloud Dragon, which is of course a reference to the Galaxy Eyes Cloud Dragon, which had a slightly similar effect, except it wasn't a Poplar. This guy is a Poplar. If he's added to the hand except by drawing, you can special him. You can tribute this guy. Special 1 Tachyon monster from your deck or graveyard, except his own name. So he's just kind of freaking epic. And if you special summon a Dragon XC's monster, you can target well, Xyz monster or monsters, you can target one of them, attach this card to it as material from the graveyard or hand. Even if not there, blah, 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 if it's there, or even if not. And each effect is hard once per turn. So, you know, it has like some funky, if you are summoning at the same time as adding stuff or whatever, he can be attached. I don't know if that really matters, but, you know, he has that ability. Very cool. Or I guess if you send him to the graveyard in the middle of the sun, I don't know. This guy I almost forgot about because he doesn't have Tachyon in the name, but he's kind of crazy once I read him again. Infinite rank 8 dragon guy. He's probably a 3 of in a lot of decks. Well, not a lot of decks, but you know, since he has a lock. But if you control no monsters or your opponent controls a monster with 2k or more attack, you can special this guy from the hand. And if you do, you can special summon one level 8 light or dark dragon from your deck in defense, except, you know, a second Schwarzschild. But negate its effects. And then you get Dragon Xyz extra deck locked. So, kind of nice if your goals involve Xyz summoning rank 8 dragons. Very epic. We have Optimus Primal, the guy that was mentioned in chat just now. When a dragon Xyz declares an attack, attach this card on the field to it as material. I didn't double check. I looked only at that one questionable site for card text, so it might have not been updated, but the way it's worded does imply that it's mandatory. And if a dragon Xyz is on the field, quick effect, you can special summon this card from the hand to either field hard once per turn. And also, if summoned, the owner of this card adds one Tachyon spell trap from deck to hand. Very cool. That's just a gimmick puppet woman for Xyz dragons. Not quite. I think the woman is a little bit better than this guy. But yeah, it's kind of similar. Then we have the 7th copy of a bunch of level 4 monsters. To be honest, I guess it would be 4th through 6th, but shh. I don't think we need to read what you do, but basically you reveal a card in the extra deck and then you add a card that matches the description and place a card from your hand on top of the deck. Then you get Xyz extra deck locked. It's a hard once per turn. And basically you can search for any level 4 water, fire, light, earth, rock, warrior, spellcaster, fairy, or aqua monster, and then like level 5 aqua and something else. I don't know. I think like fire, or no, fire warrior, something along those lines. Very cool. People ever since its announcement have been like, wow, this can search a couple floodgate cards. Very cool. Who doesn't love that? Can't search wind? Well, I didn't list wind, so that was a band reference. We have Spiral of Destruction. Another one where I was like, I can't even be bothered to come up with a joke name for this one. You can activate one of these effects, and each effect can be used only once per turn. So you could technically, I guess, activate this card or card with this name multiple times per turn. First effect is if you control a Galaxy Xyz Dragon or XYZ monster, destroy all face-up cards, negated cards your opponent controls. Second one is target one Tachyon card in your graveyard except a card with this name and add it to the hand. Third one is target one dragon number monster in your graveyard, special summon it in defense. Can be played. It's not completely awful, but you know. We have the Lord of Tachyon Galaxy, which probably is not really, you know, played that much, but technically it's not unplayable either. It's just that, you know, you would probably rather be safe and not, you know, rather just have hand traps and extenders and starters rather than a potential end board or end of setup card, but whatever. If you control a Galaxy Eyes Tachyon Dragon monster, you can activate this from the hand. During the battle phase, detach a material from your Galaxy Eyes XYZ monster. Shuffle all monsters your opponent controls that were normal or special summoned this turn into the deck. Wahoo! I mean, removal-wise, this is actually pretty strong. It's just the fact, like, do you really want to risk breaking on this? Answer might be yes. I mean, it's not like, you know, completely unbearably bad. And then of course, oh wait, no. Also, if you control a number C monster, the card's activation effect can't be negated. And it's hard once per turn, so, you know, you can't use more of this.
Hello.
Thank you for the follow. Welcome, welcome. Yes, searchability does not change the fact that there's a good chance that you don't really want to see this in your starting hand compared to something like Max C alongside your starters and extenders. But sure. Like, again, the downsides that I was talking about didn't involve it not being searchable. It involved not wanting to brick on it and not being able to play through like a single interaction. We have Divine Golden Chungus. This guy who requires 2 level 8s. If summoned from extra, he gets to search for a Galaxy or Tachyon card from the deck to hand. And he can also detach 2 materials from himself. And then special a rank 8 Dragon XCs with 3k attack from the extra by ranking up this card basically. And then attaching a Galaxy monster from the extra to it as material. So you get some nice materialage. Well, I guess you get 2 materials, but you know, it is what it is. And each effect is hard once per turn. Seems pretty good having the search into the rank up the more you think about it. What it do? We get rank 8 guys, including the negate guys. We get the counter trap from the hand, which is Epic Chungus Gaming. The counter trap is old. And we also have big Galaxy Eyes Bungus beatdown aspects. Because of course we do, because we have rank 8 dragon guys. So kind of more of the same, but not really the same. But, you know, you can kind of imagine what's happening. Here's some random ad deck examples. Wahoo! The Dragon Light and Darkness quick play spell finally found its home. Very cool. We love that for it. A bunch of UR extra deck monsters right here. Is skill included? Of course the skill is included. We have another one that features horse, because of course there needs to be a horse. Why wouldn't there be a horse list? And I think there was like one more. Yeah, there is like whatever the frick this is. Some like combo nonsense. Is there even any... Oh, I guess you can summon Max with that. Okay, I see. You've used Format Skipper for that. Yeah, I don't know. Like, if you want to do some YouTube combo, here you go. Yeah, Darkwing Duck uploaded his deck list from Japanese locals. It is what it is. Bam. Galaxy Eyes Drake. Oh, maybe I forgot that guy. I probably forgot that guy because I searched for Tachyon. He's probably there. Yeah, probably there. But I don't think he was in any of the deck lists, so I kind of forgot about his existence. I don't know what that guy is. But, you know, you can assume that he most likely is there. And we have more anime. Doesn't care. Dude, it's not that I don't care. I told you, I made this like really fast, okay? Most of the time was spent making cringy ad jokes, okay? We have anime. Crimson Dragon is a light dragon that can be tagged out into through Spirit Dragon. This is knowledge that people have known for over a year. Konami decided, hey, we could utilize this. And the new guy that they gave them that can also be tagged out into is also level 12. I think you can guess where this is going. This is going to a white woman. She has a bunch of effects. Each of them are hard ones per turn. You can send her from hand or field to the graveyard to place a true light. Face up in your spell trap zone from basically anywhere. Well, actually, I guess not banish spell, but shh. If you special a Blue Eyes, you can revive her from the grave. When a card or effect is activated, targets her, or when she's targeted for an attack, you can special a Blue Eyes White Dragon or a level 1 Light Tuner from the graveyard. So she just does a whole bunch of stuff. While being searchable. Very cool. And also being very low resolution. We have the guy that has a song about him. The Neo Kaiser Seahorse. Again, 1 trillion effects, each of them hard ones per turn. If you control Blue Eyes White Dragon, you can special this guy from hand. You can target a light tuner you control, increase or decrease its level by 1. And if this card is sent from the field to the graveyard, you can send 1 Blue Eyes monster, 1 monster that mentions Blue Eyes White Dragon from the deck to the graveyard, except its own name. This guy commonly is not really played as far as I understand it in modern cards, especially with the freaking Dragite stuff. But you can technically build a build with 3 of him, so I don't know, just know that this guy exists, I suppose. We have Roar XD. You can only use 1 effect only once that turn. You can special a Blue Eyes monster from your deck, graveyard, or banish in defense, but you can only special summon a Blue Eyes White Dragon with this effect if you don't control a Blue Eyes White Dragon. Also, Dragon extra deck lock for the rest of the turn. And banish this card from the graveyard, fusion summon using monsters from your hand or field as material, including a Blue Eyes monster. Wahoo! I love fusion summoning using a Blue Eyes monster. Very cool. Then we have yet another card where I couldn't even come up with anything too interesting for its title. So we have Wishes for Eyes of Blue. Both effects are hard ones per turn. As you might notice, I think pretty much everything in this archetype has hard ones per turns. At this point, at least. You can discard a card, apparently, add 1 level 1 Light Tuner and 1 Spell Trap that mentions Blue Eyes White Dragon from the deck to the hand, except its own name. And alternatively, you can banish this card from graveyard, target 1 Blue Eyes White Dragon you control, equip 1 Blue Eyes monster from your extra deck to it as an equip, and it gives 400 attack. This is usually used to fish out either a fusion material for Magia or Blue Eyes alternative Ultimate Dragon dude guy, who is a targeting protection for Blue Eyes monsters. Wow. We have Majesty's Trap card, which actually seemed to have like a decent amount of use rate for whatever reason in those CG, but I don't know. Maybe I'm missing something. It didn't seem that crazy when I looked at it at a glance, at least. Both effects are hard ones per turn. Again, show, I guess, up to 3 Blue Eyes from hand, face up field, under graveyard, then destroy that many cards your opponent controls. I mean, it's not bad non-targeting pops. Kind of epic, I suppose. Banish this card from graveyard, ritual summon from the hand by attributing Blue Eyes White Dragon or dragons from your hand or field whose total levels exactly equal the level of that ritual monster. Wait, why does this even include multiple Blue Eyes White Dragons when they are all level 8? Like, what, am I gonna ritual summon for a level 16 Blue Eyes Twin-Headed? Oh my god, spoilers. Upcoming support. We have the guy who says, don't call me no allo when he's around. The Blue Eyes Ultimate Spirit Dragon. Technically, in case you care, he's 2 tuners plus 1 non-tuner. Blue Eyes monster. But let's be real, he's a level 12 dragon synchro monster. Opponent can't banish cards from your graveyard, so, you know, they can't bestial your stuff or call by the grave, for what it's worth. Not useless, but, you know. But then it also has a negate on top of it. When a card or effect is activated on the field, you can negate the activation. If you do, this card gains 1000 attack until the end of the end phase, which is a hard once per turn negate. So stacking these guys doesn't really do that much, which is why it's not that uncommon to see even a single copy of him included in the extra decks, I guess. And if he's destroyed by battle card effect, you can special summon one light dragon monster from your graveyard except his own name, which is pretty epic. But, you know, the guy who tributes himself to tag out does that, the spirit dragon, only if he's been synchro summoned. So it's not that crazy, but it's fine, I suppose. The reason why this matters is because you can summon this from Spirit Dragon for free. So, you know, if you summon 2 Spirit Dragons, you can just tag out into this guy and then tag out into Crimson Dragon and then often tag out into Heckin Hecker. Yes. The Seafer Dragon who protects destruction for this guy. And also is a pop, but, you know, you can do other stuff as well, because why not? We have Cousin Bob. I didn't even remember that this guy exists beforehand, but apparently he does. 2 level 8 dragons. So this guy has more restrictions than the previous rank 8 that we looked at. If he's Xyz summoned, you can negate the effects of all face-up cards your opponent currently controls. Oh my god, this is synergy with the other guy from the previous archetype. Can't attack directly unless he has a normal monster as material. I don't know why the frick he needs to have this restriction. I mean, I guess he has 4000 attack, right? You can attach material from this card, then target a normal monster in your graveyard or banish pile, special summon, and if you do, it gains 1000 attack. Hard once per turn revive. Cousin Bob at it again. And last but not least, we have the Link that searches the field spell, which requires a level 4 or lower dragon or spellcaster monster. If Link summoned, it searches Mausoleum of White from the deck that you can either add to the hand or send to the graveyard. Mausoleum of White does have a graveyard effect that allows you to banish it to search for Burst Stream of Destruction. The spell card that requires you to control a Blue-Eyes White Dragon and then destroys your opponent's monsters and prevents you from attacking with Blue-Eyes White Dragon for the rest of the turn, I believe. While this guy's on the field, you have a Dragon special summon lock, but it's not anything retroactive or whatever, it's just a continuous restriction. And how do you get rid of this guy? Well, you just have an effect that allows you to just straight up tribute his ass. To special summon a Blue-Eyes monster from your hand or graveyard, but if you special summon an effect monster from the graveyard, it can't attack, and also it is negated. What it do? Well, we talked about it a bit, but it has Crimson Dragon stuff. Technically, it has some niche floodgating from the Spirit Dragons, both the new guy who prevents graveyard banishes from your graveyard, which, I mean, let's be real, that's like not really... like whose game plan is entirely dependent on being able to banish from your graveyard, right? But I guess like technically normal Spirit Dragon prevents from like pendulum summoning multiple monsters and like Ritual Beast tag outs and I don't know, Rika Queen Teardrop activating her summon effect. So, you know, there's that. Very cool. You know, some generic synchro summoning options. You can technically summon Trishula maybe with Crimson Dragon. The balls, very nice. Let's go. It goes crazy. Here are some deck lists. Or not. Oh, never mind. Here we go. Skill Drain. You love to see it. Floodgates were commonly teched in side decks for this from when I glanced for the decks that weren't Primite focused. So I'm sure that that's really cool. The other deck lists don't seem to want to appear. Okay, never mind. Here's one with Secret Village, which luckily is banned. But, you know, technically, AFD is also a light dragon monster. So technically, you do have the ability to search for field spells off of it, which does come up in builds where you go for Magia. Which I believe should be coming up. Yep, here we go. You have the two choices, of course, as to how you go about getting Magia materials. You can either go for Ravine with Chaos Max, or you can go for BLS Guy plus the BLS Searching Field spell, which, you know, doesn't require this card, but being able to send other dragons in the graveyard might be set up, so I don't know, might not be completely bad. But that's about it as far as the decks go. We can take a quick glance at the previous expectations I had for March, just to see, wow, this guy didn't call anything unless we had the big hand traps. The fact that they're not announced kind of, I feel like, implies that they're probably not coming, because I don't think they would release them without announcing them. Then again, who knows? It's not completely off the table, but I would be kind of shocked if they didn't even announce or hint at them, but it is what it is. A bunch of the support stuff for Centurion, Goblin, etc. I don't know, some of it could still sneak in, but the expectations are not super high. Mimikghoul, of course, not coming right now. Rage of the Abyss stuff with Mermail, Atlantean, 6-Sam, Insect, Metalmorph, Primite is also not coming yet. And then we ended up getting both of the things from Duel is Brilliance, which was at the bottom of my list in terms of expectations, but hey, apparently I should have known better. And then, you know, April upcoming expectations, let's be real, for the most part, they're just copy-paste from the stuff that was before. So the trifecta of Valmonica, Centurion, Memento support, again, some of it might be sneaking into this box. I don't freaking know. But, you know, if it doesn't, it should be right around the corner, right, guys? There can't be much longer now. Can't be much longer. Similarly, Goblin support also kind of coming there. And, you know, the Rage of the Abyss stuff, because we gotta start getting those cards as well sooner or later. Bam. I'll post this one in the chat afterwards. That's the background image. Thank you for playing Yu-Gi-Oh! Master Duel. Very cool. 2 Blue Eyes. Why do Yu-Gi-Oh! Players ruin everything? A Blue Eyes deck without Blue Eyes Ultimate Dragon? What's next? They do play Blue Eyes Ultimate. Well, either Neo Ultimate or normal Ultimate if you play Magia, so there is that. Did it even work? I think it did work, right? Yep. I don't think this person posted any pornographic content, luckily, so we're good. We are good. I think as far porn, yeah, unfortunately, Pixiv is filled with AI porn these days. I mean, some of it might be real, but a lot of it is like really shitty AI porn. So it's really sad whenever you end up searching for stuff on it for backgrounds and whatnot.